You hear me?
All right, what's up, guys? It is Karl and Christian with We Talk.
Hey
We
guys.
have limited time here. Also super sick. Um, so hopefully the audio is not really bad on my end. But anyway, we have a interesting segment where we are going to be ranking all of the Nintendo consoles, or at least the most common ones.
And if there's something that we haven't played, we're not going to rank it. It's like Commodore 64 or like the Virtual Boy, which we know literally nothing about.
And so awesome. So we'll go left to right. I don't think it's chronologically ordered by any means, but anyway, we're gonna do a little breakdown of the tier list. So S being the top. I think Christian and I are probably only gonna have one to two up there. But A being A, B being B, C, D, F, whatever. F being probably never played or just complete dog.
Hmm.
Christian and I are going to be basically arguing or making a statement for what we believe for each console, and so we'll get a little back and forth for each, or we'll just agree and then we'll move on to the next. But anyway, Christian, would you like to decide where the NES will be here on the tier list?
Yeah. So I think the NES is kind of tough because it's like the first Nintendo console. And at the point of this, basically the whole structure of games was just an arcade where you would like go spend a bunch of money, putting all your quarters in to try and beat Dragon's Lair or whatever. And Nintendo was like, let's see if we can make a game for people to play at home that it's easy enough to beat because you don't really save, but hard enough to like keep spending time. So that's like where Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt kind of came for. But the console itself is very basic. I mean, it is simply a box this big with a D-pad and two buttons and start and select. So it is very bare bones as a console. Um, but I think it was extremely big when it came to just, the revolution of consoles in general. So I think it deserves a solid like C is what I would probably put it at.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put it above C. I'm thinking
Yeah,
tier C. I'm just thinking, do we want to put it in D, man? Because what is really worse than the NES?
I guess I'm thinking more of in the sense that like it started it all, so it kind of deserves a little leeway. But like if we're being pretty objective, it's probably D. I mean, it's probably just a D if I'm being pretty
So
factual
what are
here.
you
So
thinking? What are you thinking?
I
I'm
think we
I'm fine
throw it
with
in a
either.
D. I think we
All right.
throw it in a D if I'm being realistic.
If we're being real, okay.
Um, the next console is the one that I think on this list is the worst one.
I would
I think
completely agree, actually.
I
I was
I
going to
think
be that's a D, easy.
I think D or F if you want to call it that because if it's like dark, you can see it, but if there's any sunlight, like you cannot see the screen. You just can't
Unplayable.
even see what you're looking at. And the screen is like tiny. I mean, it's the same as a Game Boy SP screen, but it's like a giant brick. Like it doesn't even fit in your pocket, which is the point
Fit
of it
it
being
in the
mobile.
baggy jeans. The baggy jeans,
Yeah,
there, I'm sure it did, but
yeah. So I think it's like bottom of the D tier, I would say for sure.
yeah, I don't know. So
Not to say that there
should
were no banger games on there,
So
but
closer to the tier right here, this would be like D plus, whereas this would be like D
yeah,
minus. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Game Boy. I mean, really, what good games does it have? It has Contra.
The
It has,
Tetris.
yeah,
Tetris is like big. You got the OG Pokemon games, and I think Pokemon is like it. If I'm being honest,
oh,
like
that's
there's
it.
really
Yeah,
not.
a
Can
lot
you
of
could you
a
play
lot of
the original
shovelware.
Pokemon TCG on that? Maybe, probably
I
not.
mean,
I
I
think
thought that was
so.
Game Boy Color, but
Yeah, I think it's Game Boy Color too.
um, yeah, not a lot to talk about with the Game Boy.
Mhm.
I think we're just a little bit too young to appreciate it. But I mean, who plays the Game Boy? If you're gonna play the Game Boy, you're gonna play the Color, the GBA, or the SP. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
it's just horrible. Um, Moving on to the Game Boy Color, what do you think? What are we
I'll
thinking?
let you kind of say your piece first on this one.
So Christian and I never had the Game Boy Color, so this also had the same issue that the Game Boy Advanced as well as the Game Boy Color had, where if it was remotely light out, you couldn't see the screen. The screen's the same. I think it's a tiny, tiny bit bigger, but there's
Yeah,
color. Whoa. Not, I mean, realistically, if we're talking about the game selection here, I mean, it's got Gen 2. It's got what else? I mean, what are some like
Pokemon trading card game. You got
yeah,
just
but
like
what are some
ports of other
like some
games.
ones that were like, whoa, it's in color. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not it was just the next step, really.
Yeah, like maybe Donkey Kong Country in color, the Game Boy version. I don't know. There's nothing like
Yeah.
crazy.
Nothing's even
Um,
speaking to me at all. I mean, I'm down to put it in D still.
do you
Not
think it goes above or below the NES? I think it might even
probably
go.
above the NES because it's
You
color.
think?
It's like the
I
first
mean, the
color,
NES
yeah.
NES had color
Yeah,
and
you're
it
right.
had way better games for it and was
What is
like
way
at
better
home.
though? What is way better?
All the Mega Man games, Punch Out, Mario
Yeah,
Bros, Duck
yeah.
Hunt,
Oh, that's true.
uh,
I forgot completely.
and
You know
that's
what?
not even
I'm
including the
down.
like.
We'll put it in the middle of D, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know what? That's a valid
That's what.
point. I'm not
That's
gonna
why I was like, I feel like those first two Game Boys are just so bad that like NES could
so
be like
bad.
bottom of C, high of D, kind of. But
I would agree. You can start
yeah,
off with the
this is
SNES.
like, in my opinion, the first real console that
Yeah.
like it kind of picked up some traction with Super Mario World. I think like
Oh
arguably one
yeah.
of the best 2D Mario games just ever. People love that game. It's very fun. Um, and that's kind of when games started having more processing power. So like it could run something like Link to the Past. It could run Earthbound with all these different music and color and like
Hmm.
you could move diagonally,
Yep.
that's something that's pretty tough. And it's got two whole more buttons. You got an X and a Y instead of just A and B. I am biased because I there's a lot of really good games on this console. But if we're ranking it just in consoles, I think it goes bottom of B, maybe high C.
I would actually completely agree. I would say bottom B actually.
Yeah.
Um, from Mario 3 to a bunch of like games. So now when when games come out, let's say a movie game, Trolls comes out for the Switch. It's just complete dog water. This is where like movies, cartoons, TV shows had games like Roadrunner. It's one of the best SNES games of all time amongst people who had played. I think that's when people weren't just selling the image of their IP. These were actually well made games. I mean, Toy Story had a phenomenal game in for the SNES. So I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot of this is when games got completely upgraded, in my opinion. I think it's low B, high C.
I think we should go low B,
Low
just with
B,
how this everything's going to go.
I
Yeah.
would agree. I would agree. So we'll just throw it in there for now. So you could start off with the next one.
I am like the biggest N64 defender on the planet. I love the N64. It has so many banger games on there. It is so much fun. But if we're talking consoles, I mean, you need three hands to play it, and you do not have three hands, you have two. There are like, it's got the problem of like too many buttons. You got all the buttons on the right, the stick in the middle, and then like four more buttons on the left that you can't even like touch at the same time as the stick. You have to like be ambidextrous basically to use it, which sucks because I'm biased and I love all the games. I'm thinking this might be like a high D, low C tier
Ooh,
console.
not
Just
gonna
because
lie, I almost want to put it higher than the SNES.
I are we judging this based on the games that come out for
Overall,
it?
overall, overall.
Because if we're
Because I
judging
think
it
the
on the
games
console, like
games carry it.
I
Carry it,
mean they do, but not like I'm a defender. If it's
bro.
me, I'm putting it in A, but that's not realistic,
I
I
think we
think.
gotta do B, dude, because it has Banjo-Kazooie, DK64, the original Smash, the
But
original Mario
also
Party.
if
It
you're
has
like
Mario 64. It has
yeah,
Majora's Mask. It has Ocarina of Time. Bro, dude, it's arguably one of the best consoles
It
for
is.
games that came out.
I
So I
mean,
feel like
collectathons, like,
objectively, it has to be B, bro. It has to be.
but like
Diddy
if
Kong
you're
Racing,
talking like
GoldenEye. Come on, Christian, bro.
you give this, hey, trust me, I'm the defender here, but I'm trying to say like
Paper Mario.
if you give this controller
Yeah, the
to
controller
anyone
is
that doesn't
horrible.
play video games,
Yeah,
they're like, what the hell do I even do? I can't
yeah.
even hold this. So you're trying to play Mario Kart or Mario 64 and show someone this. They're like, this is the worst thing ever. I can't even get into it because of how bad the controller is.
The controller is the
Um,
worst out of all of Nintendo.
and
Well,
it's also still a part of that, like, they're not discs, they're cartridges, and other consoles at this time had discs, like Sega and PS1. Like they had,
yeah,
you know, discs. So you like if I'm trying to play Banjo-Kazooie, I pull it out, I put it in, I gotta turn it on, didn't work, take it out, gotta put it back in, turn it back on, hope it works. Maybe it'll glitch if it like gets bumped funny. I mean, we would play with our neighbor Mario Party. Some of the most fun I've had. You bump the stupid cartridge, it just game instant turns off.
yeah.
Like the console itself is so bad, but the games are so good. So I think it has to be like high C. That's probably like the highest I'll put it.
No,
Dude,
I'm gonna argue. Let me argue a little more. A little
okay.
more. Um, for consoles at the time, you do bring up the point that they do have this, they do have this. This is where, I mean, games were still being played on the CRTV, like
Mhm.
even the PS1, even the Sega. So it like things can't look that different if it's on the same TV. So you can say, oh, it was on the DVD, it looks a little better. But if you're playing it around the same time as it was popular, which was on those CRTVs, I don't think it's that much better, or I don't think it's that much worse than PS1. I
I
really
think the argument here is like, are we judging it based on the functionality
it's
of
overall
itself
everything.
or like how good the games are?
It's
Because if
it's everything. It's
like for me,
everything.
that's two different things. Like I think the games are S, just straight up S, like no contest. And the
But
functionality is an F. I mean, it's just garbage, poo poo, stinky. So like
so for the
the
ones we
middle of that is C. If I'm being like
for the ones that we
putting that
already judged,
together.
we were already doing the game library as well as the functionality. So
Hmm.
we're already basing
Yeah,
it
but
off of
that's why
everything.
I just think
I
that
don't think it's worse than the SNES, bro.
I don't know, man. The SNES is such a more friendly console, even though the games are worse. You
Dude,
know?
the games are way worse.
I mean, that's true, but it's also like I guess
If we're looking at the
putting
games, I think the games carry the console in every console.
I mean, that's true, but
So
like
I
this
think
is a
that
console raider less so than a game raider tier
it's
list.
everything, bro. We don't play DS games on a 64. What are you talking about? We
Well, yeah, but it's also like you can play DS games on a 3DS, when we get to that. So it's
Yeah, that
like,
is
does that mean that the 3DS is automatically better just because of that?
it could be.
Because I feel like I'm looking at it in like the time that it came out and that you don't know what's ahead. So like
This is
you're just
also when
taking
we
it for
finally
what it
got
is.
3D, bro. We need to take that into account.
I know. That's why I think it should be in C and not D.
Well,
All right, we could just
bro, the fact that you
we
even just put it in that conversation of D is disrespectful, bro.
I
We got
mean
the effing GameCube in there, or
uh,
not the GameCube, the Game Boy in there, dude.
yeah, okay. I think we can stick it in B then, above it's not going A, just based
No,
on
it's
the
A. We'll
I
do
I I mean
if
if
you
we're
if you
doing this
really
in
want, we'll do B minus. How about that?
no, you put it above the SNES. That's fine. I
Well,
think
no.
that's
Do you have to agree? We're arguing.
yeah, I just I don't know. I love the game so much. Like I will never not play all the games on the N64.
Yeah, they have
But
some of
it's
the best
like
Nintendo games ever came from that.
console's just so garbage.
Yeah,
It's just so
it's the worst, probably the worst controller outside of the Switch. That might be a hot
yeah.
take, but we'll leave it there for now. We could also go back. We can go back. But anyway,
Hmm.
you want to start off the Game Boy Advanced.
So we didn't have a Game Boy Advance. We had a Game Boy SP, and I mean it's all the same games. But I do think a Game Boy SP when we get there is much better.
Yeah.
But a Game Boy Advance is still solid. I mean, all the games on there had like the processing of an SNES or better,
Mhm.
but mobile, which is huge. I mean, if you're trying to go to the playground, show all your friends at recess, you know, how to get Rayquaza, you can do that. Where like you can't with these home consoles. So I think just all the games too. I mean, like Minish Cap, Gen 3 Pokemon.
Yoshi's
Um,
Island,
yeah, oh,
Golden
that's such a jam.
Sun. Like, dude, there's a million.
Yeah, there's so many
Mario and
games.
Luigi.
Mother 3 came out for that, which is just
Oh
so
yeah, I didn't get
good.
that.
Yeah, so I think that one's probably, I would say low A, high B,
Wow,
I
wow,
think. Because, like,
dude.
I don't know, it's the
If
SP is
we're
going to be above
if
it.
we're looking at
So,
the list, the advanced is not better than the 64, bro. I'm sorry.
ah,
Maybe the SP, not the advanced.
you don't think so?
No, dude, no, no. I love the SP. I'm thinking that's. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. Excuse me, but advanced, it's at least C, C B minus. I'm
They
not. I
also,
cannot sleep tonight if we put it above the 64, bro.
all right, that's fine.
No,
You can
don't. I
stick it
need you
in
to
G.
argue, man. You got to
I
be a
just,
man, Christian. You got to be a
I,
man.
it's not about being a man. That's stupid.
No, but
I
we're
think
we're
it's just,
we're having a discussion,
it's,
debate.
I mean, it's better than like SNES, I think, for sure. Because you can
The
dim it and
advanced?
brighten it. The games itself
No,
are
no,
just
you can't
better.
on the advanced. You can on the SP. The
I
SP is the
think
only.
you,
No,
I
you
think you
can't.
can on the advance. Can
No,
you
you
not?
can't, bro. You needed to buy a freaking light attachment. It was still had the same effing issues as the color
Oh,
and the
okay.
GameCube. The
Then
SP,
that's fair.
the SP is the one that's it. It's the only difference is it's freaking foldable and there's the light switch. There's no light switch on the advanced. Do you want to look it up quick? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yep, it
sure.
does lack the backlight. That is true.
Dude, yeah.
I thought it did have one. It
No,
doesn't.
that's why the
'Cause,
SP, bro. SP is probably going.
yeah,
I'm not even.
I mean, I think
Might be.
so.
Yeah.
Probably. Because yeah, no, that's fair. I thought it did and it just doesn't. So that kind of changed it for me. But I just think like the link cable came out for the Game Boy Advance. And so that like being able to
No, the
do stuff with other people.
bro, the link cable came out for the original Game Boy.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I did forget about
Bro,
that.
the
Yeah, you
Game
could
Boy
trade back and
Advance,
oh, that's
like low
fair.
key, only just had new games. That's why the SP is so high. It's like
Mm-hmm.
literally like way
Because it's a
better.
lot better. I mean, just the quality of life is so
Yeah.
much better.
I
So yeah,
I
that's fair then. We can stick that under N64 because I like the N64 better than the Advance anyway.
way better, bro.
So
It's way better.
yeah.
So are we thinking C or B minus?
Mm, probably actually. I'm looking at the rest of these games and I'm like, oh, I don't know what else would even go in C. I think they can go in C, like high C.
All right.
It'll be above something else that's going in C later.
I
So
think so.
um GameCube, I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Easy B at least. Easy.
What makes you say that? I want you to expand a
It's
little bit more.
arguably the best controller for any of Nintendo's consoles. I know it's sold poorly, but there's still a lot of good games. It was it was created as a box to be a portable console. That was one of its biggest selling functions. I mean, it's literally got a freaking handle. So, instead of you going over to your friends and playing the original Xbox or what, the PS2, I think. I'm trying to think of like the time back then. It was like the easiest portable console. I mean, it's a lot smaller than the other ones. Um, I don't know. It's just the processing power is still not there. But I mean, so many great games: Melee, Odyssey,
Double
Twilight
Dash.
Princess, Double Dash, Wind Waker. Oh my gosh, one of my
Sunshine.
favorite. Yeah,
hmm
Sunshine,
I think it's ARS, like
A or
completely.
S.
And
Okay.
here's why. I don't know if you know this, but you can actually have 8 people play the GameCube at the same time. Like Double Dash can be played with 8 controllers by using LAN. So that's when
Oh, yep,
like
yep. But
LAN was a thing.
The Xbox and I don't know about the PS2, but I know the original Xbox had LAN.
Yeah, but this is the Nintendo version of that. So like if we're ranking Nintendo consoles, this is the only one I think out of any of these, I guess outside of like the mobile stuff that can do that.
Yeah.
And the controller itself, like
It's
people still use GameCube controllers today,
yeah, yeah.
like for Smash. Like that is the big. I mean, I do it too. Like I buy GameCube controllers. And Melee is just so timeless. Like the game is literally that good that it is still being played competitive today, 20 years later. Like I think this might be low S, high A. Like I'm not putting it lower than A, I think. Just with how
I
good it is.
I'm looking at the list and like it far surpasses what we have in B. So
I think so too.
I mean, I'm down to put it in A for sure. But
I
are
think it
you
goes
thinking
A.
S? How? Okay, wait. Before we move
Um,
on, how many do we think that we're gonna try and put into S?
I think
Well,
when we
I'm
get
seeing
towards
what we
the
have
end,
left. It's gonna
I
be
think
we may have to
yeah.
re-rank a little bit.
And that's fine. I think we're
Okay,
gonna re-rank then like a couple here. But I think we can put it either low S or keep it in A for now and then change it later if we need to.
so keep it. I'm
Yeah,
completely
that's
fine
fine.
with A because I just come and yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
I think it's good.
deserves A. But
Game Boy SP. This, I mean, it's perfect. I don't even know what to
it's
say about it.
literally perfect,
This
bro.
is what we
It's
had.
perfect.
It's like half the size of an Advance. You can keep it in your pocket. If you had one of those crappy cartridges that would like not work if you turn the game off and you lose all your save data, you could just keep it on but plugged in if you really needed to. You can dim it or brighten it for sun or night for long car rides. You had a volume slider instead of like a button, which
Hmm.
was just easier. I mean, you literally just take it out of your pocket, flip it, turn it on, boom, you're in the action in 2 seconds. For the other ones, it's like you hold the button, you gotta wait. This one, it was quick, easy, looked amazing. I mean,
Looked
had all the
amazing.
great ports of just every Game Boy game for Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Like, it's so good. I mean, we're both very biased though, I think,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's solid. I think it goes in A or S, one of the two.
It's A.
Yeah,
I don't know about S. The sound was so bad on it though. But I think that was just because of like the time, like portable consoles, like hit
yeah,
on max volume and it's not loud.
just
Like
yeah.
it's got to be completely dead silent.
But I mean,
Was
maybe
there
that's the
was
pro
there
because I
even
mean,
a plug-in like to use earphones?
nope,
I don't think there was. So like
no. So you had to play it in church with the sound off if you wanted to
yeah,
play. So
sneak it in church, sneak some
yeah,
SP in church. Uh
yeah,
it's A though. I mean, and we
yeah.
the lovely the red SP just looks fire down there.
Oh yeah.
So
Do
I
you
think
want to put it above or below the GameCube?
oh
I think it goes below,
I think it
personally.
goes below two,
Okay. Okay.
actually. I'm not gonna argue that at all.
Yeah.
This is where I think we're gonna start having some disagreements here on
Yeah,
the list, actually.
that's
Do
fair.
you want to start with DS or do you want me to start?
I want you go first.
So I think of the DS, the DSi, the 3DS as completely different consoles, and not a lot of people do. And as revolutionary as the DS was, I'm going to put it in the B plus tier.
I think that's crazy. I would like to hear you expand on that a little bit.
I don't want to spoil what all I'm going to say, but I think the other two DSs are much better.
I we can kind of get into this. I think the DSi is objectively worse than the DS
What?
for
No.
one
The
reason.
Game Boy
Like
port. That's the only thing you can
that.
argue. That's the
Okay, but
only thing.
that what does the DSi do better? That is worth losing all of the Game Boy port games.
It has better. I could be wrong because this is the DS Lite, I believe, the one that's down there. But the DSi has better screen. It's like buying the OLED versus the non-OLED
Yeah,
Switch. Okay, it's got camera. Okay, come on. We didn't have phones when we were kids. We didn't have
that's fair. That's
iPods. We got a
fair.
camera. That was
Yeah.
dope. It has it has access to the wait, no, the DS did too. Didn't it?
Yep.
No, it did it.
The DS, you could do online with Mario Kart.
You could no,
And
you could do online, but the DSi literally had an internet browser. It was the first browsing.
okay, that's fair, I
Okay,
guess.
it had voice memos. It had flip note. It had. I don't have my D. Do I have my DS on?
I
DSi.
was like, I have my
No,
DSi over there if you need
no,
me
but
to go grab it.
I just think it is a lot better. I'm not gonna.
But I think everything that you said, I would trade away 4 Game Boy games because, like, say my mom,
But it's only
during
Game
that
Boy
time
Advance. It's
can,
only Game Boy Advanced, which is
but those, I
arguably the
mean,
best. Yeah.
yeah, Game Boy Advance, we already have, the games in C tier at worst, but
Yeah.
they're probably like B tier games. Um,
I think it has
at
better
worst.
battery, the DSi.
That's fair, but it's like, say, my mom, she's if she's a poor woman, she has to pick a thing for me. Objectively, getting me a DS would be better than getting me a DSi because I could keep it longer and play way more games on it. Just every DSi game and all, I mean, you're taking the best games from that era and you can put them all in one console instead of having to pick. Whereas, like, if you had a DSi, you would also need a Game Boy or a DS to even play those
Mhm.
games. So I think just that alone
Ugh.
outweighs every single positive. Like, I don't think it matters. Just being able to play Gen 3 alone is worth having a worse battery, a worse screen, no flip note, no voice memos.
Well,
That's fine.
I I I can compromise, but they both gotta go in A. But the DS goes higher.
I think that the DSi should be top of B.
I wish I had my DSi so I could log in on it to see what else because there's stuff that I'm missing that I so for the viewers, Christian and I never had a DS. We started with the DSi.
Yes.
So it's completely, I don't know. I think we got to experience it. I mean, it had PictoChat. It's really just the Game Boy Advance port, excuse me, that it did not have. Ugh. Oh no, wait,
No,
you grabbed it. Got to
right
click
here.
the whole menu. See what else I'm missing. Help me get a better.
Okay.
Also, notice the Nerf case. That's how legit it was.
Yeah, and I've like destroyed this. And here's a picture of someone that I might know with a wig on. So you got system
Wait, we
settings.
the DS shop, bro. That was the
Yeah,
so there was no shop on the original DS.
dude, was there not?
No,
We have PictoChat. That was on the original though, for
yeah,
sure, right? Oh,
PictoChat.
my
Yeah,
DS is gonna
there
die.
was.
There's Flipnote,
I
camera, PictoChat, voice note, and my DSi died. It's dead now. I
I
have
think
not
that's
charged
really
it,
it. But
so
so okay, so you could actually buy games on it. So I think that, and I don't know what was on the DSi shop. Oh, I still want to argue that it's better.
I want to see, like, how do you even buy the games? Because I'm just, is it the same as like a Switch where it's like the same concept where you like load money onto the online eShop
It's
on
either
your
that or you
computer at
buy,
home?
or it's you
And
buy
then
the
when you have
cards.
money on the computer at home, then you can log into your account on the
No.
DSi and then do it that way.
I think it was like logging in. Back in the day, you'd buy Xbox Live at the gas station. You buy the card. You could buy the Nintendo cards to, at the gas station to put currency on your device. I'm sure it was just like that. I'm sure it was not as user friendly as stuff is now. I don't know, man. I can't believe we're stuck on DS versus DSi being better. I truly think the DSi is better, and I don't know
I
if
just think the quality
people
of life
listening
changes are
think that's a
not.
what.
I just don't think the quality of life changes are better than all of the Game Boy games. But this, I
I
think we
think
can
it
have as a
is.
poll. Like when we upload this, we can have
Wait,
a
wait,
poll.
look,
Like, what
look.
do you
I'm
think
gonna
is
look up on
better?
my phone quick what DSi shop what you could buy because if you can buy Game Boy games, well, also then it's still the same thing. Like you have to buy it, whereas I already have it, so I guess it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
And
Uh,
like forces you to buy it online. And if there's more taxes online, or it's just a bigger
I
headache, then
don't
it's like not
know.
even worth it. Because like if your mom's going, because you're not buying it as a kid, your mom is, or your mom's like you earned your torn money from your allowances, like whatever. But you would usually just go to GameStop or go to a
Yeah,
store, Blockbuster, and buy the game there
yeah.
instead of like online, because that was still foreign to everyone at the time.
I don't
So
know, man. I think you could buy movies on here. Am I reading this wrong?
there's no way that you can buy movies on your DSi. I don't think I could even ever access the internet with how freaking slow it was too.
I don't remember, if I'm being honest.
I don't think I ever even tried because I think I tried once. It was so
As soon
slow,
as
and I
the
was like, I'm never
3DS
doing this
came out,
again.
it was just over.
Yeah,
It looks like we're running out of time though. We got about 10 minutes left. So, oh man.
let's stick them both
How
in
about this?
what?
How about this? We'll do this DSi at the end. I think the DS automatically goes higher than the SP.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just the SP,
Is
but
the SP
DS
worse than
games.
the DSi though?
Nostalgia, no, but if I'm being real, it's probably worse than the DSi. Yeah. So,
And then get a GameCube or DS. That's tough. That's a tough one, dude.
oh God, that's too hard.
I'm okay with keeping the GameCube higher, but that one's really tough to do.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty close, not gonna lie. But we can go to the 3DS
okay,
here.
you can start.
I think the 3D part is it's stupid. It's dumb.
Trash,
It hurts your eyes
trash,
all the time.
so
So
trash.
that to me makes it feel almost worse than just like a DSi in terms of like actually what it is. But you can play DS games on it.
Yeah,
So it's just the same as the DS, but you could play two different kind of games. Some could argue that it's stupid. Like, why even split up 3DS and 2DS games? Like, why would you even do that? Because that's just dumb.
yeah.
But I don't know. You get used to it. It's whatever. I think it's great. And I mean, the 3DS games were very good. You had Smash on
Oh,
there. You had Mario Kart 7. You
the 3D
had
Mario games. I mean, it was the
3D
first.
Pokemon. That was the first time Pokemon was in 3D,
Yeah,
which was really
3D
cool.
Mario
Um,
platformers, Luigi's Mansion,
mhm.
Yokai Watch. I never played that. I mean, but there's just tons.
Yeah,
It's got to go in A tier. That's my opinion.
I
Sorry to
think
cut you
so.
off, but it's I don't know
I
where.
think it goes in A
I don't
tier,
know
but is
where.
it better than the DS?
Okay, so I still play my DS, and when I say DS, I'm talking about the 3DS. This is
Yeah.
the OG. This is literally the one that's in the picture.
Hmm.
I want to say yes, but
But
I
like,
think
if
objectively, no.
if
I
you didn't have a Game Boy SP and you did have a DS,
I
do
think
you think
3DS
you would
games are
use
better than Game Boy Advance games.
that might be another hot take. I don't know. It's like
Let me
Gen
see what
3
I
better
have
than
in
Gen
here for
6, dude. That's a little crazy. Like Gen 3 is so much
what.
better than Gen 6, but
Yeah, no, but yeah, but we're not talking just Pokemon. I mean,
me, Mr. Pokemon. We don't have a lot of time. That's fine with me. I agree. I use my 3DS a ton, so I get that. We can
is
stick
it
it
better?
in
Is it
what?
better than the DS though?
I think that's a really hot take, and I'll let
I'm
you
thinking it's
decide.
here,
Yeah, I like
but it
that. That's what
could.
I would say.
I would put it there, but I don't know. What
I
do you
think that's
think?
another hot take debate, but we don't have a ton of time, so I want to just make sure we can get to the other stuff, and then we can change our list.
Okay, okay. The
All
Wii.
right, this is called We
It's an
Talk.
S. It's
We're
an
putting
S
it in
tier.
S. Like we're
It's
not
an
even
S
gonna
tier.
like.
It's S tier. Easy. Oh my
This is the
god.
game that got your grandma and grandpa into video games. Like this is so user friendly, but the Wii itself is objectively just a bad controller.
Yeah.
Like like when I think of bad controllers, I think of Kirby Return to Dreamland, where there's virtually no motion controls, and it is like crappy to move.
You
It
literally
is
just
just
hold it like
crappy to move.
this.
Yeah. But the Wii's just great. I mean, it's got the best games ever. Like
Yeah.
it's an S, no contest.
Yes, it's always, when you're hanging out with your friends when you're 10 and versus 24, it's like, oh, you
Yeah.
got a Wii? Oh, hop on Wii Sports. Oh, let's play Mario Super Slugger. Oh, you got Smash on there? Oh, you got a blah, blah, blah. You got this?
Mario Kart Wii, you
We're
got
all yeah,
yeah.
we're
There's
all gonna
just so
play
many
it. It's
bangers.
it's an S tier. There's no
Yeah.
arguing. It's an S tier. It will always be an
Yeah.
S tier. It's we
And
can't even knock it at all because it's like
no.
just so amazing. I mean, we still play it. Both Christian and I, we live on
Yeah.
opposite sides of the United States right now. Not really, but in other
Yeah.
other areas, we still play it. You play with your friends, I play with my friends. When we meet up, we still play it. It's if we're playing a console out of any of these, we're not playing the Switch. We're playing the Wii. We're whipping out the Wii.
Yeah.
We're not playing anything.
Yeah. But the Wii U, on the other hand, my opinion, garbage. I think it goes in C. I
No,
think it goes in C above the Game Boy Advance.
no.
It is not better than the 64. No shot. No way. If you're like
It's it's
The Wii
bottom B,
U,
dude.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
dude.
it's not.
Dude,
I
the
don't.
games, bro. Smash
What
4.
games? There's like two
Smash
games
4.
for it. That's one.
3D Mario Land, or I can't remember what it's named. Dude, Breath of
Mario.
the Wild came out on it, bruh. One of
Yeah,
the
but you don't
best
play it on
Zelda
that. You play it
games.
on the Switch. You play it on the
I
Switch because
and
it's
I
way
did
better
well,
on the
and
Switch.
I played it on the freaking Wii U. So
Yeah, it was supposed to be
Wind
made for
Waker
the Switch.
HD, Nintendo Land. Uh,
Okay, you're naming a
Mario
game that
Sonic's
came
at the
out somewhere else
2016
before.
Olympic Games
That's
that
not
I
even a
never
good one.
played.
Yeah, I think the Wii U games are objectively bad. I mean, there's like three good
Oh,
ones. Yes,
bro,
there's
objective,
like three good ones because
brother.
they just come out on other stuff, whether it be earlier or before. They're either remakes of games that already existed or they came out on other stuff. Smash 4 and like Nintendo Land are the only games that like lived on the Wii U
Bro, the
and
fact that
stayed
Breath
there.
of the Wild came out first, though, come on. It
I
came.
guess,
That's
but
a Wii U
most
game. That
people,
is not a
I
Switch
would say
game. It's a
most
Wii U
people played
game.
it on the Switch. I
I would
mean, that's
agree,
fair, but like,
but it's a Wii U game, and it's art. To some people, think it's the best Zelda game of all time.
I mean, that's fair,
We
but
got
the Wii U
we got
itself, you
Mario
had
Kart
to have the
8, Christian.
gamepad.
Mario Kart 8 came out on it.
But also, yeah, but okay, keep in
What do you
mind,
mean,
if you
yeah,
have the
dude?
gamepad, you have to have the gamepad.
Super Mario
You
Maker, Christian, bro.
you
Super
can't
Mario
you
Maker.
can't play it without the gamepad. You needed the
Yeah,
gamepad. And
yeah,
it broke very easily. It was huge. It was like this big. It was
yeah.
clunky as
I didn't like the.
crap.
I didn't like the
You were
control.
forced to look at it for games.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
Breath of the Wild, you were forced to be like, okay, well that's going on here, and let me get do this,
Oh my
and then
gosh,
do
Donkey
this.
Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I mean, we got Super Mario
Yes,
Bros.
some of
U.
the games are good, but a lot
Dude,
of those got ported to the Switch later anyway, so it just became obsolete. Like these
Captain
other
Toad
games, the
Splatoon.
Wii is something we will still play today. The Wii U is something that you find in someone's garbage. Like you
Uh,
you you don't keep it. The second the Switch came out, everything on it just went to the poop.
it's
So
bottom B then.
ah, I think it
We're
has to
not
be
we're
top of
not
C.
putting it below the Game Boy Advance, dude. We're not.
No, it can go above the Game Boy Advance, but
No,
it's in C. It's
dude,
it's
no,
got to be in
no,
C.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yes.
no,
Yes. It's
no,
gotta
bro.
be.
No.
I'm like not budging on this.
I'm
It's
not
not.
budgeting, bro. Bottom B, bottom B.
You're like the biggest Wind Waker fan ever.
It's not
And
even,
if
dude.
you, it's like,
There was freaking YouTube on it. We were watching. I mean, there was YouTube on the
well,
Wii, but
technically there
like
was YouTube on the
we were
freaking
watching.
DS
Okay, think,
either.
bro. Me verse. One word.
Okay,
One word.
fine,
Me
fine,
verse.
fine. You can put it in B
Bottom
just for
B.
Miiverse
Bottom
alone.
B.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Now
And the Switch.
you can start with the Switch.
I'm biased.
I
The
want to say
Switch
easy.
itself is such a bad console because it's got like
Here.
2 hours of battery life.
Yeah.
But it is mobile and you can use it for the TV. It has Ultimate and all these amazing good games. And
Yeah.
you get indie games on it, which
Mhm.
is like way harder to get on any other console. I think just because of the portability of it, it's S
Mm.
because like you can just bring it around. You can bring it everywhere. It's got really good sound. In I'm not talking Switch Lite, which is garbage, but like the Switch and the OLED Switch, like it looks good. It feels good. Oh, the controllers are really bad though. I did forget that.
Bro,
The
it is
controllers are
it
god
is
awful,
it
so
is a
it's probably
C
not
tier
S.
console.
The Switch?
The games bring it
You're
to an
telling me that the Wii
AS.
U is better than the Switch? You're crazy.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
no
bro.
way,
Yeah.
no way.
The
If you're judging
SNES,
it based on games,
64, and the
if
Wii U is
you're
better than
judging
the
it
Switch.
based on games, there is
Oh,
no
yeah,
way,
the games are
no
insane.
way.
The games are
Like
insane.
the
You
games are
got
so good.
Odyssey, you got Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that alone is
Yes.
should be enough.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is just the Wii U one but better. Like
I think, dude, this is the only console
there,
where you have bought in Switch cons or Joy Cons, excuse me. How many effing times?
no,
They're
we
horrible.
had to replace our stupid gamepad
Yeah.
twice.
For what? The Wii U?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
it had a mechanical issue, and then it got a
It was
big cracked
free. It was
screen.
free, dude. For
No, it was the second one cost like $60, which is the same price as the Joy
dude, I
Cons.
had to fix my Switch Lite and it was $90.
Okay, the Switch Lite is
$90.
bad. We only have less than a minute, but I think it's not better than the Wii U. But you're already putting it. You're
No,
crazy. You're crazy,
top T, bottom A. Or right here.
dude.
Or what are you thinking?
Uh, let's go
Vampire.
above SNES maybe.
Right here. I'm perfectly fine with that.
That's fine.
But anyway, we don't have a lot of time. If you guys enjoyed Christian and I arguing,
Please comment. There's a billion
yeah,
hot takes here. Like, there's so many hot takes,
yeah,
and we'll be
please.
happy to expand on it in a future podcast. I'm sure.
Oh, please,
So,
please. And we might change your mind in the future. But guys, please comment, follow the YouTube, follow the Spotify. Hopefully Christian and I will make clips of this